So I've already showed you how to can sweet potatoes. In today's video, I am going to show you how to dehydrate sweet potato slices and sweet potato powder. If you want to see how I'm doing this today, keep watching this video. So before we start any sweet potato project, before slicing them and getting them in the dehydrator, you definitely want to wash these first. We want to make sure that there's no any dirt on them that can transfer when slicing up the sweet potatoes. For the sweet potato powder, I am going to roast 2 sweet potatoes, and I'm going to cut the end off. And I'm going to cut them in half to roast in the oven and put them on this cookie sheet here for roasted sweet potato powder. I'm going to do the extra big ones so it's easier, and then the smaller ones will be easier for making slices. All right, I'm going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to start off with 30 minutes, and if it needs longer time, then I will put them in longer. So we're going to start off with 30 minutes, and then I'll bring them out, and then I'm going to mash them, and then we're going to put those in the dehydrator for roasted sweet potato powder. Okay, so for the rest of the potatoes, I am going to peel these with the potato peeler. Take out any bad parts. That end off. Rinse it off. And then this is ready to be sliced up with the mandolin. I'm going to go ahead and peel the other 3, and we'll head over to the dehydrator and mandolin and get these started. Okay, so I cut the sweet potatoes in half so it'd be easier to go through the mandolin, and I think I have this set on 2, and this is how thin I am slicing the sweet potato slices. So these can be for sweet potatoes, scalloped sweet potatoes, or you can even powder these up if you wanted to, but I'm going to do the roasted sweet potatoes that are in the oven right now to roast them up. So let me grab another sweet potato. Whoop. Put that in there. So that's one whole sweet potato. We'll go ahead and put those on the trays right away. All right, you want to put them single layer, and here's one tray ready for the dehydrator. All right, so that's one whole sweet potato on 2 trays. All right, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room to do all 4 sweet potatoes because I need 2 trays for the roasted sweet potatoes to make the powder. So whatever's left over, I guess that's going to be cooked for dinner tonight. All right. So these are my remaining trays for the sliced sweet potatoes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and slice these up, and I will bring you back when I'm done. Okay, I was able to fit the last of the sweet potatoes on the trays. The last couple were a little bit on the small side. I am going to be following the instructions on using the Ultimate Dehydrator Cookbook. And for sweet potatoes and yams on page 76. Okay, so I am doing these raw, so when I do use them, I will need to cook them because these aren't cooked. But if you wanted them pre-cooked, you can boil or bake the sweet potatoes and yams, kind of like how I'm doing with the sweet potato powder that I'm doing. So we'll go ahead and put these in, and then let me take you over to the dehydrator. So while the other sweet potatoes are roasting in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and get these started so they don't start turning weird on me. And dehydrating temperature is 125 degrees. Let me find that again. Dehydrating at 125 degrees, approximately 12 to 14 hours. Again, don't worry about the time. Just check to make sure they're crisp when they're done. If they're not, put them in longer. Don't get hung up on time. I've said that in the past. And let's get this started. And it sounds like the other sweet potatoes are almost done. So we'll go ahead and put this at 325. And we'll go ahead and let this start processing, and I will go check on the other sweet potatoes. Okay, so as you can see, the sweet potatoes are out of the oven. I am going to do 1 sweet potato each half on 1 tray. What I did is I don't have plastic trays for like fruit leather or whatever. I just created this little tray out of parchment paper and then like stapled the sides, the corners, so it would come up. And then I am going to scoop the sweet potato onto the tray. These are definitely cooked, so we'll be able to can make instant sweet potato, mashed potatoes, or what I like. I used to get this brand of sweet potato pancakes, and I haven't been able to find it. So I would love to try and mimic that. All right, let me get something to mash those and make them even. Doesn't need to be pretty. We just need to get them evenly and thin to be able to dry. Might be easier with one of those mats, butter mats. But if I hold it down with my one finger, it seems to be staying in place better. All right, so we'll go ahead and get that in the dehydrator. There. So I got it as thin as I could, and we'll go ahead and put that in the dehydrator, and then I will get the other tray ready. Okay, so here's the other tray of the cooked sweet potatoes that I will be powdering up after they dried out. I tried to smooth it out as best as I could, and if spots are not drying that well, I will go ahead and continue to push it around a little bit until this is completely dry. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the dehydrator. All right, so as you can see, I have every tray full, and the last two trays down here are the mashed sweet potatoes that we're going to powder up. And remember, these are raw, so these will need to be cooked when we rehydrate them for future use. So let me get my lid. And turn this on to 125 degrees. Okay, so you can see this is clouding up. There's, definitely moisture in there, so that's going to take some time to dry. So I'm thinking this is probably going to end up being at least 24 hours, but I'll check it again tomorrow morning and see how they are, but they probably won't be done until tomorrow night, if not the following morning. So we'll be back. It's been a little over 12 hours now, and I thought I'd come out and check the sweet potatoes and see how they look. Oh, can't get them out. And here's how they look. They're still a little warm yet, so I'm gonna let a couple cool down. I'm gonna just take this tray out. They're falling off. They're getting caught. Whew. All right, we'll just take that tray out. And then here's the tray for the powder. That's crispy. So I will go get a jar and let's see how it's cooled now. That's the crisp we want to hear. All right, so let me go get a jar and we will put those in and get them ready for storage. So I went and got myself a half-gallon jar, and we're just going to go ahead and put these in. And that sound is telling us that these are dry. I thought they would have taken longer. We've had rain this morning, and they seemed like they had a lot of moisture, but let's see if I can funnel these in. I don't think these are all going to fit in here. We'll see. I might have to go get another jar. And remember, these are raw, so when you use them, they will need to be rehydrated and cooked, but these would be perfect for sweet potato, scalloped, sweet, how do you want to say that? Sweet scalloped potatoes. Or you can powder them up, or whatever you want to do. So these are definitely dry, so there'll be no need to condition these because they're pretty thin and they crunch. So I'm not going to condition these because these are definitely dry. If you were in doubt, you would want to condition them. You would want to put them, you'd probably want to not put any more in this, and then you would cover it up or put the lid on it for a week, and then I'll show you. So when conditioning, you don't want a full jar. You want to be able to move things around and turn it and just make sure nothing is sticking for a week, to make sure that, you know, there's no moisture and that mold could start growing. So that's how you would condition it, but I'm not going to because these are definitely dry, and I'm going to fill what I can, and I'm going to have to get some more jars because these are not going to fit. So maybe I'll do a couple quart jars in this half gallon. All right, so I'm gonna put that on and let me go get another jar. All right, so here are the roasted sweet potatoes that we are going to use for powder, and you just kind of pull it off, and I'm gonna put it in here, this container, to powder it up with my Ninja. So if you remember, each tray was one whole sweet potato. So I'm gonna see if I can get more in this. See how easy it comes up? Doesn't matter if you crush them up, they're gonna get powdered up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And like I said earlier, you know, if you don't have the dehydrating trays to make like fruit leather or whatever, this is definitely a cheaper option to go using the parchment paper to hold it all in. Okay, so I'm going to put this on. Power. Oh, you can't even see it. Hold on. Okay, I didn't realize that when I was emptying the other tray that the camera wasn't on. So luckily I I did get this tray. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift these up and put these in my single serve Ninja blender. And see how if you just kind of peel the paper from underneath that it, look how, check that out. Came off in one big piece. but we don't care if it's, how it looks. These are all getting powdered up. And then what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to put these back on parchment paper after they're powdered up and just put it in the oven just for a little bit. I got the oven on right now to 170, and then once it reaches temperature, I'm going to back it off. Actually, I'm going to shut it off and then let it stay warm, and then I'm going to put this in there to finish drying out. So you don't want to put this back in the dehydrator because the fan will blow all the powder everywhere. And we don't want that. So that's why I'm going to put it in the oven to finish drying after it's powdered. And then we can put it in the jar and store it up. Okay, so I got the remainder of the tray in this container to grind up. If there wasn't a whole lot, you could also use a coffee grinder. All right, here we go. All right. Just kind of spread this around a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that in the oven to finish drying, and then I will come back and we'll store it up in that pint jar. Okay, so the sweet potatoes are out of the oven. It's still a little bit warm yet. We're going to let this cool down a little bit more. Spread it out to help cool. And then we're going to put it in that pint jar that I have over there. Because of the sugars, we're going to experience some clumping. I think what I'll do is I'll put the jar here, so if I make a mess, it'll land on the tray, and then I can put it back in the jar. So, all right, here we go. Here goes nothing. Let's see how much we can fit in here. There. I think I'm going to need to change this to a smaller jar because there's a lot of volume in here, and we don't want, any more moisture than possible. So let me go get a different jar and close up some of this gap here. Okay, so I have this half pint jar with this little funnel, and we're just going to pour this in. And close up that gap. Because when you're storing it, you don't want a lot of air or potential space in your jar. There. That's better, at least. So this is 2 whole sweet potatoes powdered up. So you can, put this in pancakes. You can make mashed sweet potatoes whatever you want to flavor with sweet potatoes. So we'll just go ahead and put that lid on. And there you have it. 2 ways to preserve sweet potatoes by dehydrating them. So if you like this video, please smash that like button and share this video with anyone who might be interested in preserving, dehydrating sweet potatoes. Remember, these ones that are sliced here, these are uncooked but dried, so they will need to be cooked, but the powder was roasted, it's been cooked and ready to go. Thank you for stopping by. I'm sure glad you did. And live, love, laugh, and garden. Happy dehydrating. God bless. Bye.